Hello there, people. How are we all? On this fine, I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday? It should be about Wednesday for most of us. So, good to see everybody there. Hello in the chat. I am going to put myself and you all through some torture. I don't know why. I felt like doing it for a while, and I just kept putting it off because, well, when I thought about it, it's like, you know what, this is just going to be painful to do. But nonetheless, should be fun. So, I'm going to watch my very first video that I did, which is the bullshit on creation and the 1,000-year-old man, which was the first video in my bullshit on the My Book of Bible Stories. Whew. G'day, Dave. The other Dave. Grumpy Dave. Got all the Daves. Hello. SS64. Looks familiar, but I can't quite recall. Good to see you. Oh, geez. Okay, so I figure we may as well just get right into it, eh? But, I'm not looking forward to it. I won't lie. But what are you gonna do? So, let's do this and see. I figure also, yell at me about what you guys don't like or do like about these videos as we go through them. And, I don't know. Like, if I've missed any particular point in the stories, especially through these My Book of Bible Stories, feel free to be like, hey, you missed that. Like, throw out. I want to hear it all. G'day, Ola. Alrighty, where's my cursor? Oh yeah, it's up on that bloody screen now. Alright, so let's do this. And let me know how the audio is for the video compared to me and everything. Like, if something needs to go up or down, let me know. We'll just jump into it. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Joan. And before we even start, I want to apologize for my voice. I mean, it's bad now, but it was worse then. So, just saying. Sorry. Alrighty. Also, let me know, would you prefer the screen like it is here, or the screen to be full screen? I'll do it in full screen for now, but if you just want me to change it back to this particular type of screen, let me know.
The governing body deeply appreciates you hardworking parents and all that you're doing to try to help your children find a rich, satisfying life.
Cringe already.
As a parent, I remember the challenge we faced trying to develop love for Jehovah in the hearts of our two little boys. We used the tools available, the Bible, Watchtower articles, and then in 1978, how thrilled we were to receive My Book of Bible Stories. What a godsend this proved to be.
Ooh, all right.
I'm NotJah Witness, and I still have my copy that I was read to as a kid at bedtime. So I thought I would pull it off the shelf, literally sweep off the dust, and give it another quick look, just to see if it really is a godsend.
Ooh, dude, I can't help but hear something in the background. I think it was because I was still using a shitty. It was meant to be a good mic, but for some reason the audio pickup was really low. I was right up against the mic, had everything amped up as much as I could, and I'd still have to amplify it like 200 or 300%, just to get my voice. So I think that's probably what I did wrong. Turn the video up. Okie doke. I can turn the video up. It was a little higher back then. Yeah, I was also not using the same filter setup that I have now. That was back when I wasn't doing any live things, so it was literally in Audacity adjusting all the audio manually with filters, and it was a mess. It was a mess. But anyway.
Big beautiful golden cover with red script starts it off well. Past the title pages, we arrive at the opening intro. It says, my book of Bible stories.
God, I'm actually going through the book as well.
Of true stories. Well, I don't know. I don't think that's not a good start. They are taken from the world's greatest book. I guess it means 50 Shades of Grey. The Bible.
Oh,
shit. The stories give you a history of the world. No.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone knows, but I was actually taking all these photos originally, and I was like being so, I don't know, sneaky about it. I was trying to make sure no one would see what I was actually taking photos of. So while I was doing this, I'd always make sure I had some other product or something it looked like I was taking photos of. If somebody came down, I could swap it out really quick. So that was fun. I don't really do that anymore. Yeah, there's that, I suppose. I mean, it looks, if you ask me, I think I did a good job, but, you know, probably could have opened the aperture a little more to get a better, a wider focus. But oh well, hindsight.
When God began to create until right up to our present day. No, it is not. But do go on. The stories are told in simple language. Smaller children will delight to have these stories read to them.
Do I still do that voice where where it sounds like I'm reading? Maybe I'm just putting that on at the time. God, I hope I'm only putting that on at the time. I can't even remember. It was a while ago. Ugh. It's cringy listening to yourself. Even though I'm filtered, it's still cringy.
Over and over again. And to be honest, this is kind of true. As a kid, I did enjoy some of these stories more than, some of the other nursery rhymes or tales. But given I was never really too comfortable with the idea of them being true stories compared to them, it sort of makes it a bit different. But basically, this book tells some well-known and not so well-known Bible stories in language kids can understand, but without obviously giving two shits about the themes and implications that they're teaching the kids. There are 116 stories, so I will only skim through. But anyway, let's get to it.
I think I missed a bunch of stories too.
The first four stories are on creation. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden and getting kicked out. The main point that is put across in these are that humans chose wrong and thus they get punished. That old trope. I don't really see the point in adding my voice to the echo chamber, all the reasons this is bullshit.
See, that's called just being lazy. Honestly, that was well, I suppose it's a bit of lazy and a bit of at that point, I didn't think anyone was going to want to listen to it from some random new, person that no one had ever heard of. So I sort of stuck with just my own, things that I could relate to and I could talk about. And, that would be somewhat in one way or another kind of unique to me as opposed to just whatever, a creation story that everyone knows, or at least similar enough.
But it is, so let's just move on. The seventh story, a brave man, mentions something I don't hear pointed out often enough. It talks of a man named Methuselah, son of Enoch, who lived to be 969 years old. Insert 69 joke here. So even as a kid, I called bullshit on this, but I was brainwashed to subscribe that while we were closer to perfection then, having only just lost our rights into paradise, we had a much longer lifespan than we do these days.
Is that something that is commonly believed outside of JWs? With the whole stories of people that had the longer lives back then, or do you just not believe that shit, that was just made up dates? Too many words. Yeah, stories with pictures is good, but these pictures, some of them aren't awesome. They basically are, yeah. And these are the ones that we would get as bedtime stories. I mean, we would read them to ourselves. Like, these are the first books that I would read, myself. So, I keep going to click on the wrong bloody.
But this doesn't make
window.
a damn lick of sense. This is taught like it was an obvious fact, but it's not. The next one, Giants on Earth, number 8. Yeah, I can conceive of there being giants. We sort of have these things, happening now anyway with different genetic disorders and whatnot. But they tend to not be related to goddamn angels. Literally, God damned the angels after getting it on with the sexy ladies of Earth. And we aren't meant to even raise an eyebrow at this as a kid.
I suppose there's one thing, like, I don't know if I mentioned this at some point through the series, but there's so much they don't put into these stories. Like, obviously intentionally.
Right. So then we get a bunch of the Noah. We all know that, so skip.
Like that. Look at that picture. This is, everyone, like, somebody asked me the other day about the imagery, and it was like, we got this imagery of people actually drowning and dying, and the baby's there in the mother's arms, they know they're going to die, and presumably woolly mammoths there. I can't remember if that's actually, it's probably a saber-tooth. Or it might just be like some of the animals that didn't make it on the ark, because, they only took a limited amount. And look how long it goes. It's freaking huge. It's ridiculous. It's pretty silly. It's like they definitely had a specific art form that they used, and I think because of that, all of their pictures are really easily identifiable, and they have a triggering effect to a lot of people. Like they will to me. It's not like some severe or anything, but it's just like I could see it, and it's like, oh, that's a picture from, made by the Watchtower organization. I can just tell it.
Men build a big tower, the Tower of Babel. This is, of course, not such an implausible story on its own until it comes to God getting jealous over how big our peace became. And, he just wiped out the whole world except for Noah not long ago, so clearly needed to try some new strategy.
I mean, the implausibility of it at that time, maybe, like, with the building structures and knowledge they had, but, we get surprised by some architecture of the old times. Yeah. I don't know, we can do ridiculous-sized buildings nowadays, so that part in itself isn't completely impossible, so...
He goes and makes up all the world's languages and gets us all confused and shit.
But then it goes to theirs, like, what the hell?
So we can't complete the tower. Aside from how petty this is, it is kind of bullshit. A bit of a trend going on here.
I didn't really do a very good analysis on any of these, did I?
So I sort of decided to split this up, because I am covering more than I thought I would.
Alright, do we want to listen? We'll listen to one outro,
so
see how it goes.
At some point, I will do the next part to this. If there's any interest, that is, because there might not be. I'm just starting out, and I still need to keep my head sort of low in real life, especially now that I've started this. I'm working on a few more serious videos.
Damn it, I still have to keep my head low.
Time, so I wanted to throw something together just to get the channel started. I have a lot to discuss, and very little clue on how I'm going to go about it in the end. But I have to try, so this just happens to be how it starts. The support is obviously always appreciated, given
some soppy shit.
But there is a long road ahead, and so, a lot of work to do. We'll get through it. If you would like to see more, do hit the like button, subscribe if you will.
Those things sound great.
Thanks for watching.
You should do that.
And I hope
he sounds cool, that guy.
A fantastic day.
I gotta admit, that was a pretty bad video. Don't go on to some other random's video. Stupid autoplay. Alright. We'll do the next one. It's only 3 minutes, so it's not too bad. I think I'm going to skip the dedication baptism thing. Because, yeah, nah. So we'll do a few of these Bible stories, and let me know if you want me to skip on to one of the other videos that are my early ones, and we'll do them as well. We'll do it all! Why not? We'll just watch all of my videos here live. Definitely not. I mean, at least some of the earlier ones are worthwhile because they're obviously atrocious, or at least from my point of view. Like, looking back, I'm like, I could have done better. But anyway. How you doing, Donob? It's always good to see you, mate. Alright. We're gonna jump into the next one. Bullshit on, or is it Abraham and Sodom and Gomorrah? Oh, this'll be an interesting one. By the way, I don't know if I've said this, but I have not watched any of these pretty much since making them, like editing and watching it when they go live or whatever I did. Very rarely, at least, will I go back and rewatch any of these videos, or any of my videos. There are a select few that I've rewatched. Some I've definitely rewatched more than not, like some of the roasts, for example. But otherwise, yeah, most of these I have not watched over since releasing. So I have no idea really what to expect. It's been a long time. Anyone new? Am I just seeing? Oh no, everyone's saying later, don't know. Yay! Oh, thanks, Joan. Oh, this is where I started putting a fair use notice in this, and I got.
Hi, I'm NotJah Witness, and this is my second part to calling bullshit on the Jehovah's Witnesses children book, my book of Bible stories. Starting off where we left off on Abraham, this basically goes on about praising the loyalty through hard times and God promising the world to his children.
Oh, Jesus.
Twisty twist, God left Abraham infertile, or left it too long to let him have kids. So he just couldn't have kids. But to cover that promise, he promises another promise that Abraham will get so many kids that they will become entire nations. Big deal. Genghis Khan ended up having so many kids they became entire nations.
Did you say Genghis is Khan?
In the next story, it's after Abraham.
Pretty sure I said Genghis is Khan. I don't know if that's that doesn't sound anyway. I'm definitely jumping through these really quick, aren't I? Like, I chose to not talk much about these. Suppose it was testing the waters, wasn't it? Sort of seeing what I felt comfortable with and getting used to scripts and doing videos. And as I was, I'm always pretty nervous, but I was definitely nervous then about doing this whole thing for the first time. So, yeah, I'll give myself a little bit of slack there.
As a kid, and God does the whole kill your son in my name.
I always expect the Spanish
I'm
Inquisition.
We all know that one, so... then it's Lot, his wife, turning to, salt after viewing Sodom and Gomorrah being annihilated by God because of their badness, they say. But even as a kid, I knew that was...
That was a terrible shot, too.
Don't know. And yet they still try to hide it under a veil
funny?
of
What have I
God's
done wrong
love.
there? I don't know what I've done
Story
there.
16 is Isaac gets a good wife. As a kid, I knew the actions of this story, but I'll be honest, I didn't really understand the implications of the actions from this story. But I knew something was wrong about it, so I just sort of never got familiar with it. I'd skipped this one. But even as a passing glance, now it is clear to see the problems. Like from the obvious misogyny, the arranged marriage, pro-slavery, both in the servant and the bride. It goes on. But also demanding the partner be of the same faith. This in particular became problematic for my parents decades ago, and now it keeps them clinging to their faith.
Oh, I sort of went into a little bit of that. I mean, like, I applied that story in a practical way for you. Like, that was, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too cringe. I really was expecting this to be worse. I think the worst thing at the moment, aside from my voice, is the way, like, the angles of, like, because I was doing each of the shots at different times. I was setting up again to do them instead of going through the whole book in one go, because that'd be ridiculous and take too long. But in hindsight, I probably should have I should have just taken more time to get a better angle. Look at that. Oh well. I'll stop bitching about the goddamn angle. See you, Matthew. Have a great one, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Make sure to share it out, buddy. Were different. It is quite a bit to digest in it, so I might kick off part 3 with this one and see how far I get from there. I know I'm probably doing a terrible job at the moment explaining this, but as a kid, these stories really mess with your head. It gives you cause to justify things that you just don't have justification for in the real world, and the moment someone questions you, you can just hide behind your religious beliefs and Bible or your persecution. It's all just bullshit. I want to shout out Godless Engineer and thank him for the shout out in his live stream. I really didn't expect it. It gave me quite the surprise when I was watching his stream, so thank you, man. It really means the whole globe to me, given I've literally just started my exploration, shall we say.
The whole globe.
Make sure to check out Godless Engineer. He's so much smarter and funnier than I am and does amazing work.
I still stand by that.
Me. If you'd like to see more
go check out
their
awesome.
JW beliefs as I try and expose and refute.
That's my last bullshit. I don't need to keep listening to all that. Alrighty. Because I don't want to go all the way to the end anymore, because it does that whole either autoplay or all the friggin' all the other people's videos. I'm like, I don't want to see all that. I don't need all that on my video. So do we want to do another My Book of Bible Stories, or we could do responding to comments if you're interested. See who gets in first. Bible stories or comments? I need like a sound effects thing where I got like a drum roll. Actually, I do have sound effects, but it'd take too long to go through. Comments it is. I saw Arnie Fowl, what looks like. Did she? Oh, thank you, Joan. You're too sweet. I try to be like that. Like, alright, comments it is. Let's see what this is all about. If you haven't seen these videos for yourselves, do at least check them out just to give them a like and a bit
this wasn't really a planned video or anything, but I thought I should say something about this. One of my comments on the Circuit Assembly videos wrote, "Pathetic. Why do these people bother you so much?" I think I'll look into this further if it stirs you up.
I just can't help but notice that, especially for us, we can see here 3 different logos. I'll try and put the so we got, I wonder if it should show. You got this one here, the same looking coloured one like that one, and then you can't see, but this one that I'm trying to go around that's on the stream itself. God damn it, overkill much? Jeez, everyone, check out my logo, right? Fucking hell. This guy.
Or stirs up this kind of feeling, there must be some deep truth in it that you're afraid of. And my response to this person was, these people do not bother me. Their leadership does. The fact that I lost my entire childhood to them bothers me. The fact that they stole the lives of so many people in my family and so many more not, who are still slaves to them.
It's true, though.
That bothers me. The fact that their leadership covers up pedophiles and keeps them hidden from prosecution and lies to their flock about it.
Yeah,
that bothers me. Right there. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid of losing those that I love who are still slaves to them. They can't hurt me. But they can tear my family apart.
I'm going to let this one play.
That bothers me.
I'm just going to be a second. Papa wants to go outside.
I truly hope you do look into it. I hope that you find your own way to seeing what I see. It's not to be afraid of them, especially not the individual witnesses. They are just brainwashed and victims all the same. Those of the flock need their eyes opened with kindness and patience. But the leadership should be in the sharp eye of us all, and we should be ready to tear them down any chance that we find for the lies and the pain and suffering that they have caused innocent families over the centuries.
I kind of feel like I shouldn't interrupt this, but nonetheless, I decided to, just to say I shouldn't. I feel like I shouldn't interrupt it.
They deserve to end. I hope that hearing this, knowing that people suffer for them, bothers you too. So I'm on the Twitter machine nowadays at NotJah Witness. If you
shouting out shit, don't need that. Damn, that was blue. Thank you, John. Do you reckon, Doorknob? I didn't think it was that good. It sounds too sad. Well, let's see. What video? Did I show what video it's on? I'm hopeless. I'm not very good, am I? It doesn't appear so, but at this point it's hard to know. I'll have a look around. Hey, there's Fenrir giving me the idea you have to include BS in all your videos titles. Aww, don't do that much. I should go reacting to my earliest BS videos. Yeah, I might do that now, actually. Change this current title. In honor of Fenrir. This Fenrir is awesome. React to my earliest BS videos. Cringe. There we go. Save. Alright, that's better. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if they responded. But oh well. Alrighty. Feel free to choose the next one. I might do another Bible stories, and then you guys have a look at what we're looking at here and yell at me in the comments at which video you want next out of pretty much any of them, except those two, just because I don't really feel like going through listening to that shit. Because it's already me doing responses to things, so yeah. So we'll do this one for now, and then you guys give me an idea of which one you want next.
Hey, I'm NotJah Witness, and this is my third part to the calling bullshit on Jehovah's Witnesses children's book, My Book of Bible Stories.
Catch you, John.
Back into it with number 17, Twins Who Were Different. This is a story of Esau and Jacob, sons of Isaac.
Esau.
In this time, they were all about blessings and offering sacrifices. So at one point, it was time for Isaac to give a blessing to his oldest son. Esau, of course, expected the blessing because he was the oldest, but he had sold his blessing right to Jacob, so he got the shits with Jacob and spoke of wanting to kill him. Now, instead of working out the problem with Esau and his anger management, their mother, who overheard, successfully plots to have Jacob, the sweet innocent one, sent off to marry someone from a different place in order to keep him safe. Now, this is pretty shit on the face of it, but then you realize the obvious favoritism from the parents towards the two, which is pretty harmful.
G'day, Ricardo.
Then
how you doing?
punishing the wrong child, but to have him basically sent away and sold as a slave, risking death in doing so, in order to avoid the horrible wrath of his likely prepubescent brother. But hey, they think God is with them, so nothing can go wrong. 18 follows Jacob's exile as he...
I was definitely more creative with my writing, wasn't I? Like, I gotta do that again. I gotta do more, you know, yeah. I got a bit lazy with my writing, you know, or I feel I did anyway. I feel like I'm putting in enough of me, you know, when I do my scripts, I just sort of throw shit down. Yeah, I do a lot of the, most of my videos are scripted. Otherwise you get this, which is me just doing a lot of ums and ahs and rambling on about nothing, you know. That's typical me.
Seduces a young lady named Rachel, arguably sexually assaults her even in this context, and then was forced to work 7 years as a slave to her father to earn the right to marry her. 7 years as a slave. And then at the...
Wasn't that a movie? Oh no, wait, was it 7 years or... No, what was it? Might have been like 7 years in Tibet. I don't know. Fuck. That's not quite being a slave.
At the end,
Never
Rachel's
mind.
father pulls a swifty on Jacob and instead offers his other daughter to him, sort of blackmailing him to work an extra 7 years to earn his right to marry Rachel. This is just
is that what it was? 12 years a slave?
It does get better.
It was something
After
like that.
that second set of 7 years, Jacob gets with both Rachel and her sister. Threesomes it up, and it's endorsed by God. But apparently, kids, Jehovah only let them do that back in the day, not anymore. These days, it's no sex till you're married, if then. And if you do,
Wait.
and decide...
Did I take the sex message there and I didn't go like slavery was allowed back then but not now kind of avenue? Jeez, I think I missed a big point there, didn't I? Or like arranged marriages, even like, oh my, anyway.
Decide it wasn't working out, well, tough nuts.
And am I correct in like most of the times these ladies are not necessarily ladies but young girls? I can't speak for this particular story, of course. It says his older daughter. Oh, well, the younger daughter. Oh, right. So that's the, yeah. So I don't know. 7 more years. He must have been at least over. But how? I don't know. I have questions.
Because you can't walk away and you can't yank it. Witnesses live with the blue ball.
Oh, okay. I thought I misheard something there. I was going to go back. But no. We heard that correctly.
Endorsed by Jehovah. Next is Jacob has a big family, but of course he did. He had 2 bloody wives. Then again, 2 wives. Anyway, this story is just about Jacob being a wanderer, getting it on all over the place, and having lots of kids. 12 sons, it says,
definitely
and lots of daughters too.
What is it?
I'm feeling another theme emerging here. This story is actually just about the 12 sons and how important they will become as God's chosen tribe. Hashtag Walala.
Have I done any videos with Telltale?
Nice. Round number 20, titled Dinah Gets into Trouble. Basically, Dinah wants to go to the dance, but Dad didn't let her, not because she wasn't old enough, or she was dressed scantily, or that they were getting raunchy, or there were drugs or anything. No, they weren't the right religion. They didn't take the jar dog up the butt, so they can't go to the dance party. Or she can't. The only other message here is don't get into dancing or anything. That could be perceived as fun with friends if it isn't clean jarho in the butthole, buddies. Seriously though, she is then dealt a really tough hand by being raped at the party by one of the guys. So what does her family do about this when they find out? Well, of course they...
I just need to remind everybody, these are kids' stories. I know, obviously, they don't quite use the wording that I'm using, and they do try and, soften the blow for a lot of things. But, yeah, not for a lot of other things. Like the raping thing, they don't necessarily, I don't think they use the word rape anyway. But, yeah, no. Yeah, there we go. Forced her to lie down with him. Yeah, no, it's pretty much, yeah, no, that's, this was wrong, it says. Because only married men and women are supposed to lie down together. Not the forced bit. Are you fucking kidding? Oh, did I notice that? Did I pick that up in the video?
They go and kill every man that was at this party. Not just the guy that raped her, all of them.
I might have just
and
missed
even
myself.
That was bad by God and the old man Jacob.
Yeah.
But did
Jesus
they
Christ.
get annoyed with her family for the killing or continue to be mad at the rapist for his actions? No. They blamed Dinah because she went to the party of non-worshippers. For fuck's fucking sake, I'm pretty sure that if I let my kids go to a dance party of Jehovah's Witnesses, it would be very likely that they would be sexually assaulted by an elder.
For fuck's fucking sake. I mean, I need that one quoted and, like, yeah, I should put that on a t-shirt.
More than an outsider. Look into it. There are court documents of the Australian cover-up, not to mention the fellow YouTubers exposing it. Sorry, tangent. 21 is about...
Your back butt listening? Does that mean you've got your phone in your back butt pocket and it's like you're listening from there?
Joseph, son of Jacob, and how all his older brothers hated him so much.
That was a terrible joke, by the way. I'm not sorry.
That they sold him into slavery and fooled their father into thinking he was dead, all because he was their father's favourite. Another theme, I think, presenting itself here. And this time, I think the slavery...
Oh my god, I can hear voices from upstairs. Shut up. Trying to do a
All
video
good,
down here.
Given where Joseph ends up. It's hard to tell with these things in the Bible. Either way, slavery seems to be a pretty acceptable way of dealing with life in these brainwashing parables.
Oh, there you go. I did get to slavery a bit.
So Joseph, of course, was pretty important.
I know I mentioned it, but I feel like I really missed the ball completely on a few stories there. Or at least not missed the ball completely. Like I hit some important points still, but it's like I missed some important points too. I think I was kind of looking at it like, God, there are a lot of these stories, and going through them, they don't really bring back good memories. Especially at this point when it was sort of the first time for a while, and definitely the first time going through them post, no longer believing all this bullshit. And so, yeah, I think I definitely wanted to try and get through them really quickly. Even now, I don't really enjoy going through them necessarily. But it's what I'm doing for your pleasure or pain, whatever you're into. And, this kind of classifies as both. Let's fucking do it.
In early Bible times, this is about him holding his faith after being imprisoned. He hallucinates shit and gets the Pharaoh's attention like any other snake charmer. And Pharaoh goes to release him, but Joseph is just, for whatever reason, is forgotten, slips through the cracks, and he's not released. Try a US prison. I'm pretty sure this would have been a walk in the park compared. Fine.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that statement, it's not necessarily that it was inaccurate, it was that it definitely doesn't have any basis. It's like comparing something that I'm aware of, no matter what level of severity I think it's at, to something, to be honest, we really don't know the conditions of. So that probably wasn't a fair statement. But, it's probably just that it sounded funny in the script. In my head. Didn't sound as funny, though, now. I don't like that joke anymore.
Final one now. Pharaoh's dreams. Basically, Pharaoh has a bunch of weird-ass dreams, and upon waking, remembers Joseph in the prison and the hallucinations that he had. So he orders Joseph to make some shit up about the dreams that Pharaoh had, just to make sense of it all. Joseph pulls a convincing load of turds out of nowhere and wins the maid.
Load of turds.
Cons the Pharaoh by simply explaining how savings works.
Should like write all these down, because I'm gonna forget all these sayings that I'm like, I kind of want to make a T-shirt out of this.
So it all goes down well. Joseph not only gets to live in Egypt with Pharaoh, but also gets to bring all his family back too. But more to come on that one next time. So let's face it, this is all just fanciful stuff. I'm sure that there are some grains of truth to this, sort of somewhere.
Grains
there, but
grains
for the
of
most
truth.
Part, it just seems to be a
of the
wasted
picture.
page for the
Get
kids.
it?
Because
I'm hilarious.
Like they give a crap about these weird fantasies about wheat and cattle and all its relevance to your ridiculous prophecies. Anywho.
At least I sound like I have a bit of conviction.
I am just preaching to the choir, but I do hope that in time I'll get to the stage where I can start to articulate truly convincing arguments to
that still hasn't happened.
Help those that are still in the truth.
I do want to, but I'm pretty hopeless at it, I gotta admit. Like, I've seen people that have just gotten so good, like that, you know, they were just as hopeless as me at one point, and then they're just suddenly brilliant at it. Like, I'm like, yep, well done, of course, but that's not me. I am not that person. Oh, it's a shame. I'm good at other things, though.
But as it stands, despite having been out of there for a few years now, I still had my blinders firmly.
Blinders on, blah, blah. Oops, already closed that. So, do we have an idea of the next video? Anyone got suggestions? Do that atheist YouTube one. 777 views, though. I don't think I add a view to it. But nonetheless. 2 witness rule. The Stephen Colbert, I think that was something he said to Oprah or something. That was my first sort of proper response video, I think. Like, outside of specific JW stuff. Or my own comments. We got some more comments up there. Got a story about my Jehovah's Witness story by the looks of it. Family service and fallout. That might be interesting. I might be able to, like, fill in a few bits that I didn't have in there already, and we got a Guyman thing. Oh god. Guyman's death metal gospel. I think I remember that. With my lyrics. I'm kind of tempted by this one. Okay, well, you guys... Alright, we got a few suggestions, so I'll run through those ones next. But what I'm going to do is make you watch Guyman for 3 minutes. Because I got to run to the toilet. Which means it gives me 3 minutes to avoid Guyman while I make you guys watch him. But admittedly, I might actually be doing another Guyman video soon. Because like this, I need a video that I feel like I can enjoy, even though I really didn't want to be doing this video. I knew it would be kind of fun. So, but that's going to help me get back into the swing of doing videos, because I have been absent for a while, and I find the longer it goes, the longer the time passes, like, it's harder to get back into it. And I feel more nerves each time. I felt nervous even when I was doing it every day, but so, you know, now that it's not often. Anyway, won't go any further into that. You get my point. You know where I'm at. You guys love me. So I'll throw some Guyman at you, and I shall be back, and then we'll run through a few of the ones. Dedication and baptisms. I will... Oh, goodness. Goodness. Oh, that's those ones. No, I am going to pass on those ones. I might do a specific video on them at another point. Just to respond again to those, because I also have a second assembly the next year, the 2009 assembly, I did the same thing, so I'd want to do them all at the same time. Whereas I don't really want to do that tonight. I want to keep it a bit more varied. Don't take your mic into the toilet with you. No, it's all good. Y'all won't hear anything of that sort of nature. Before it all goes along, 777, that's the last letter. You got his golden 2 witness rule, which is that one. So I'll have that one on. And hey Zenith, good to see you. And I think that was, did I miss any? Alright. Well, doesn't look like I missed any, so I'll do Guyman for you, and I'll be back in a moment.
G'day again, NotJah Witness here for something very different and rather disturbing.
Oh,
in fact, I should warn you that some
haven't
viewers
warned yet,
may
but my
find
audio
the
sounds
following
a little
very
bit
hard
better.
to sit through.
And I've
So
added that
I was perusing
song.
YouTube, as one does, and I came across a new heavy metal song, or so it claimed to be, titled Silence by Adam Alto.
How dare that liar accuse you of something they can't prove you did? How dare that communist finally take away your right to be How dare that baby shooter make them stop about oppressed Christian groups to make them look bad and using an excuse to send the Christians to cut a Christian camp?
Okay, so that was about as good as it gets, but if you're into this sort of trash humor, then let's continue and enjoy the musical stylings of YouTube's finest, Dr. Guyman. I'll leave the links down below. It's almost worth subbing to him just for the shigs.
How dare that authoritarian dictator take away take your mouth shut so you can't express your beliefs in public? Introducing Silence! It's a baseball bat with a tape blaster on it. You see, people like the guys I just mentioned need to be silent, but they also deserve to be beaten with a baseball bat. Silence solves both problems. Bloodthirsty feminists accuse you of rape with no evidence. Shut that liar up. And also knock her out with silence. Communists trying to
I forgot how awesome
right
this
God.
was.
Shut him up and knock him down with silence. Genocidal maniac accusing Christians of horrible atrocities they didn't do and calling for them to be sent to concentration camps. Shut that bloodthirsty air-waster back to the depths of the mighty public authoritarian
Oh my God.
by sending them to take your mouth shut so you can't speak about your religion in public, to keep their mouths shut too, and beat the crap out of them with silence. Trump protesters be silent. Liars be silent. Communists be silent. Democrats, sociopaths be silent.
Honestly, this isn't a jab at Dr. Guyman, personally. More just having fun with the words and everything. In fact, I have quite enjoyed...
Oh my fucking God. That Dr. Guyman is kind of for real, kind of not. He's definitely, putting on a particular persona. But at the same time, he seems to be quite sincere in a lot of his beliefs and convictions. So he's an interesting little man. Oh, not little man. But I always wish him well. He's a bit of an oddball, but to be honest, I'm a bit of an oddball, so who am I to judge? Anyway, I think that's enough putting you through Guyman. Actually, wait up. Where is it? I remember he could have sworn that Guyman had replied somewhere here. Huh. Oh well. Shit happens. Hey, look, apparently this guy NotJah Witness is live. I better not click that. Alrighty. So, we'll go on to the next one, which is the 2-witness rule.
Hello, NotJah Witness again for a direct look at the current legal battles ensuing between the Watchtower Organisation, or Jehovah's Witnesses, and Australia, where normally the governing body loves to push their propaganda any time they find legal pushback in any country, such as currently in Russia. In no way do I agree with such actions taken by the Russian government, but it does present an interesting dichotomy. They will scream about the persecution they are facing in Russia, but crickets when it comes to their legal battles in Australia. Most witnesses, I bet, would have never heard of it, or even thought it was just a small matter, settled, and they've made up for it already. I do wonder why the witnesses are not screaming persecution about the Australian Royal Commission's case study. So let's get into this serious shit. So I'm going to just quickly read a brief summary put out by the Australian Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse, a report into Jehovah's Witnesses organisations released. The link for all of these will be down below. The report follows a public hearing held in Sydney in July and August 2015, which examined the experience of 2 survivors of child sexual abuse within the Jehovah's Witness organisation, as well as the systems, policies and procedures in place within the organisation for raising, responding to and preventing child sexual abuse. The Royal Commission heard from 2 survivor witnesses, 12 institutional witnesses, and an expert engaged by the Jehovah's Witness organisation who gave evidence about the organisation's policies, procedures and practices.
I don't know if I can really say much about this. So far it's been, I mean, it's serious topics and all, so I don't want to joke too much about it, but it seems pretty good. Even my audio seems a bit better. I might have started figuring out a few of the filters and stuff by this point. Still haven't got the newer version of my logo, but that's alright. But I don't know. You guys there? Like, probably could have done a better scroll thing instead of fucking cutting between the scroll points in the paragraphs. But that's nitpicking. I mean, there are many different ways you could do this. It would be, but it still looks alright. Can't complain.
It also examined evidence from case.
Why is that fucking
files held by the organisation which recorded allegations, reports or complaints of child sexual abuse by 1,006 members of the organisation. The Royal Commission found children are not adequately protected from the risk of child sexual abuse in the Jehovah's Witness organisation and does not believe the organisation responds adequately to allegations of child sexual abuse. From the evidence presented, the Royal Commission considers the Jehovah's Witness organisation relies on outdated policies and practices to respond to allegations of child sexual abuse, which were not subject to ongoing and continuous review. Included in these was the organisation's retention and continued application of policies.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to skip this one, guys. I might jump ahead maybe, but, I mean...
may be established. So this just lays out the
see if I do any stupids,
but
this seems to be an okay video. I don't really have much to
use to justify
to say to shit on this video.
On the 2-witness rule. This is basically it. But let's have a closer look. I just want to say, if I start to sound like a speaker at a meeting, I am truly sorry. I do a lot of public speaking, but I honestly still find this stuff really boring. But I persist. So let's look, shall we? At 1 Timothy 5:19. But read from verse 17. Good on
the screen at the moment, but that was well framed.
Let the older men, or elders, who preside in a fine way, be reckoned worthy of double honour, especially those who work hard in speaking and teaching.
For the scripture says,
Oh,
you must not muzzle a bull when it threshes out the grain. Also, the workman is worthy of his wages.
Lot of Bible reading.
Do not
Holy
admit an
shit.
accusation against an older man. But still, this follows as before, saying, if they still do not and hide from it from their fault, the nations.
Little
Take it to the authorities, you wankers. So
Maybe
still not content with my research, I stooped further
into
looking at their old publications. The Kingdom Interlinear Translation, you and him alone. If ever of you he should hear, you gain the brother of you. If ever but not he should hear, take along with you yet one or two, in order that upon mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 might stand every saying. If ever but he should refuse to hear of them, say to the congregation. If ever but also the congregation he should refuse to hear, let him to you be as even the national and the tax collector.
The fuck? What? Say again?
So this seems to read that a brother sins against you, you take it up with them personally first. It might have been an accident or non-intentional or whatever, just a small sin. I get that part for those small things. Part 2 is for when it gets serious. The brother is obstinate and refuses to concede.
What do you guys think of the way I used to do these videos with the taking the pictures of the physical books I have? Is that an interesting thing to look at, or would you prefer what I do now and just throw the text up, like most people do? Let me know.
That he did wrong. You then take it up with 2 or 3 fellow brothers to stand witness with you. To all be you reproving. Full, basically. Still not really outright saying without 2 or 3 witnesses to the fact you cannot place charges on pedophiles, though, does it? I've tried my very best now, but I haven't got to the pedos are okay and hide them within your flock verse. So this is just a brief look at the goings-on within the...
Yeah, I mean, I got a few, bit patches where the audio wasn't quite consistent, but nothing too major. Colour's a bit off. I think that's because of the friggin' lighting I was using. Wasn't very great. But otherwise, I don't have much to say on that video, because it was a pretty okay-ish video. Especially for one of my earlier videos, like, I'm only like a month in. That's not bad. Like, alright. What else do we want? What's the name? Maybe the book first. Just start reading stuff. Yeah, fair dues. It's good. Good one. Good way of doing it. I don't really want to do the Hey Atheist YouTube ones. That was a pretty... kind of curious, this Oprah and... I think it was Oprah anyway, and Colbert thing. Let's see what I said and how I responded. See if it was appropriate. Looking back and all. Oh, did I get rid of the audio?
NotJah Witness here for something a bit different.
Before
I'm not ashamed to say I do enjoy a bit of the late-night comedy shows such as Stephen Colbert. And I came across this recent video, kind of caught my eye as it wasn't from his, but Oprah's show. Now, to preface, of course, we all know Stephen is a devout Catholic-ish, and he has every right to be, bless his heart. I have no issue with him or his faith, and I'm not wanting this to sound like an attack on him, or Oprah for that matter, or their personal faiths. I'm not here to do that. So the title of the video in question is The Bible Verse That Changed Stephen Colbert's Life on the Oprah Winfrey Network. It's only a minute long, so we'll show most of it, and then we'll discuss. If you wanted to watch the original video, the link will be in the description below.
Counteract that. I know your favorite Bible verse.
For anyone unaware, none of those links will be down there.
It is. So I say to you, do not worry, for who among you by worrying could change a single hair on his head or add a single cubit to the span of his life? And then it goes on from there. And, my father used to say, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow will worry about itself. I was a young man, actually, walking down the street in Chicago. It was a very, very cold day, as common in Chicago, and there were Gideons giving out Bibles. They're handing out the New Testament, Proverbs, and Psalms, and it was so cold that I had to, like, crack it over my knee because it had kind of frozen, the humidity had frozen it in place, and I opened it to that passage, and it changed my life because I had lost my faith. And I opened it to that passage in Matthew, and I was so racked with anxiety, and it was the first time that I had read the Bible or anything that I understood the phrase, "it spoke to me," because I wasn't reading it. It just spoke off the page, and the words of Christ are that for me. The words of Christ speak off the page. There's no effort for me to read them.
It's a nice verse, and it is good that he found comfort in it.
Who actually reads, I suppose, are you talking about the words of Christ? They were definitely, I suppose written a bit better, eh? Because I was just thinking the Bible in general. If you read, especially the Old Testament, it's not easy to read. Just to read it isn't easy, let alone to actually fully comprehend what you're reading while you're reading it in any way. It can be challenging, even just to maintain focus on, like, most of us should know what that's like, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, it is in such trying times that people often fall victim to the trappings of religion, as their sense of logical reason gives way to emotional reasoning. Been there, done that. So I don't blame him, as long as it serves as a positive piece of his personality, as it seems to be. But if we think about this, how is this different from believing somebody can talk to your deceased loved ones, psychics or clairvoyants, whatever the stupid name they want to give themselves? Pick out the rational person in this scenario. One person calls it innocent lies, pandering to the crowd in need of comfort, and that it's harmless. Another person calls it emotional abuse and taking advantage of the needy and suffering. How is being convinced that there's a sky god that can comfort you or keep your loved ones safe after they're gone, how is that different to being presented the comfort through a psychic? It's the exact same thing. It's all bullshit. Just one with a middleman skimming an extra profit off the top. It's all scams and lies, taking advantage of the helpless and the needy, all in the name of truth, love, and answers. The Bible has about as many answers as the $10 mall psychic with some playing cards.
Oh.
So, I did go on a bit of a tangent, but it's not a bash at Colbert or his faith, as I said. This is to bash the way that religion takes advantage of those in need, when they're easily manipulated or fooled through emotional abuse and brainwashing. But thank goodness that Stephen isn't one of the majority of us poor fuckers living a shit life, or else he might have to question his God and whole existence. But I'm not questioning that. Anyway, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Okey-dokey.
I'm on.
Jesus Christ. Fair enough. I mean, that was a... I was kind of sort of hoping that I'd come to the end of that and go like, you know what? Like, I don't quite see it the same way, sort of shit, but I kind of still do. Because I was most hard on the idea of like things like psychics and believing in, you know, like you're going to see people in an afterlife and stuff like that can be damaging. So, yeah. Yeah, still, I'm with that. Alright, Doc. You have a good one, mate. Thanks for popping in. Alright, let's kill this one. See what else we got. Excuse me. Any other suggestions, or am I going to be the one picking them? Stuff hot in medicine bottles. I have that cotton in the metal medicine bottle or jar, whatever. David, Goliath, King Solomon. Responding to comments. Yeah, let's do some comments. Make sure we actually put them fucking meditation and baptism. You still want that
NotJah Witness. This time I just want to show an example of a comment where you could take it
one way or the other. But I just feel it's more important to sometimes just look harder and see what the other person's point of view is. And so I thought I'd just show these few pages to give a good example of how one person may come across.
God damn, I am talking slow as fucking this. It's like I just woke up or something. I might have. Who knows? It's either that I'm trying to record in like the middle of the night, maybe. It's also perfectly possible.
As a little rude.
Oh, hello. There we go. 10 p.m. I actually did show my desktop. I don't think you guys can see it at this point, but I can.
I suppose, and thus
I'm
your
probably
reaction
tired and
also
had a few beers.
And when you just strip it all down, though, there's no real there's no real need for an argument. You know, there may be the disagreement in opinions or in beliefs, but that at the end of the day, you can still get along and you can still be civil with each other. And this is just a good example of how I'd like to see most of the comment section, where, you know, you can believe one way or the other. We're all on the spectrum somewhere. But I would just like to sort of expect everyone to at least have the courtesy of treating each other with a bit of decency.
Wait, so did I not even talk? Did I I didn't even fucking go through and read it. So, what do we got? Mark Caesar, I guess. The J-Dubs, somewhat protected by internal politics in regards to child sexual abuse. If the family decided to pursue the matter, they could feel threatened to be shunned by basically everybody in their lives. Who would go down that route? I realise I'm kind of saying this a bit too loud. Don't want people upstairs hearing me fucking going through this. You guessed correct, but unfortunately a lot of the time, this is me obviously, part of this religion is minimized or denied until it becomes a real part of your life. But by then, you and likely your family are completely invested and brainwashed into thinking that this is the right path, and that everyone else in the world will persecute you for it. Thanks for your comments, Mark. I miss Mark. It's been a while. And Moses Livingston. That is a lie. Nobody is shunned or sanctioned in any way for going to the police. Which, you know, direct form, no, but for what they're gonna, you know, there's gonna be other things coming involved, you know, into that. Elders clearly inform congregants that it's their absolute right to pursue matters of these kinds further, and that they can go to any authority they choose. And I say I'd have to disagree, although I can understand this being your opinion. Thank you for your comment. I do appreciate a different perspective. Oh, I mean, I obviously wasn't like, nah, yeah, okay. Yes, it's good to get another perspective. It is not good for one's mental health to only want to see the bad in others. This is a malady that many who are passionately opposed to the witnesses suffer from. However, this is not the way Jehovah views his servants, and that is not how he wants us to be either. If errors were what you watch, O Jah, then who, O Jehovah, could stand? Psalms 130, verse 3. Oh my God. One of those. So I'm like, so why do you simply see bad in what I say? You accuse me of lying and assume where I stand, of where I come from to the debate, yet would you worry for my mental health? He says, I'm sorry, though I strongly disagree with you. You personally are, in fact, coming across as quite reasonable. Ah, ain't that nice? I'll come down a little bit. I wonder if and we may disagree. Hopefully it's at the top next time. Oh no, it's down the bottom. Alright. We may disagree forever, but it should never prevent us from seeing the other's perspective and holding respect for each other's views. Because just as you would say I am wrong, I would also say the same back. This, though, would get us nowhere. We must explain and reason with our respective evidences, comparing each other's views to see if we can challenge our own and learn. Thank you, and I'm always happy having a hearty discussion, mate. Aw, I still stand by that, fuck. Well, I suck. I can't call myself out. Oh well. That is a lie. That would have been great if Moses had, that is a lie, sir. I would have loved reading that. But anyway. That is a lie, sir. Alright, I'll move myself up a little and see what else we got. Seeing as we're on and out of those very, very early ones. Oh, the very first Gaiman on Teachers one. Hope XC's still out there doing well. They were the delightful writer of my Gaiman grading videos. So any of these other ones sparked a fancy? See you, NotJah. Have a good one. Actually, how long have we been going? A bit over an hour. No, a little bit more, and then I'll call it a night. I'm not going to redo the interviews. NotJah Witness in time. Alright, so we either got Family Service and Fallout. We'll do that one, and then we'll do the NotJah Witness in time. And probably we'll call that a night. We'll do first one first. Children of the Corn.
G'day, NotJah Witness
Probably
here
gonna
again.
get a
This
strike
time
for
just
all
to have a
that,
chat
just
about
'cause it's
what
played
growing up
so
as a
many
Jehovah's
times in the
Witness
same
can
video.
do. I need to skirt around some
Shit.
details to try and make this vague enough not to be able to pinpoint me exactly, but that kind of makes it hard given how weird my story is. So for now, I will try and keep it only relevant to the religion. It's no joke that growing up in probably any religion can screw you up some, but it seems when it's one further out there, it's just a bit more different to the rest. It seems that they leave quite the impact on a person's life. I grew up in what most would call a small redneck town, or an outback town. Mostly Christian, but a bit of everything, and most of them seemed not to really care for differences at face value, except when it came to going door to door or school.
I don't know how much of everything, because in hindsight, I'm sure there were, a couple here and there, maybe Muslim, probably Jews, probably very few of the more Asian sort of religions, I'd imagine. But I'm sure there'd be some. We had a Chinese shop, we had but I have no idea what their religions were. So I think that was a bit of an assumption, because I know that majority were either Christian or just, I didn't know. And it was only because of all the churches around. I only really remember seeing mostly Christian ones. That I remember.
So trying to memorize your lines door to door and pick up the right tracks, and that is if you get through the gate and if there isn't a massive dog trying to chew in your face after you walk in. But the vast majority of people are kind enough.
Alright. I don't think any of y'all, unless I'm mistaken, were J-dubs, but did any of you do any sort of what I'd call door knocking, or door to door work in any way? Like, do you ever do like a fundraiser for something for school or something, an extracurricular activity? We had to raise money and go door to door. That can be a bit nerve-wracking. Like, as a kid, I mean, too. You never know when it's going to be a big-ass dog. Then again, as well, a lot of you guys might be in, America and stuff like that, where you wouldn't really just be walking around doing that, unless you live out in the sticks like I did. But you wouldn't, we wouldn't be doing that here without having an adult go with them. but out there, different sort of place. Yeah, big dogs. Like, and I love dogs, but were they that much bigger than you? No, you know, that's when I'm not interested. No, Zenith.
2 kids and just let you finish, and then they say they're not interested, or they take the track and say thanks and goodbye. I hated it as a kid, but now I can see that they were just using our innocence to advance their bullshit. This sort of work did give me a bit of confidence in walking up to strangers and starting a conversation, however. It's just that most of the time I was starting the wrong conversation. I hated meetings, and I still do. They are awfully boring, slow, and dreary, and there is so little substance to anything said. Even from early on, I knew how simple the talks were, and I could write them up myself with no problem. And I did a few talks, at like 12 or something. They were just, even now they are, it's just really hard to present it enthusiastically. The only
I still have that. Like, I suppose not as bad as you guys have said. I've probably seen now as I've been reading. Like, I can get across reading a little bit better without sounding. It's not robotic or anything, but it's just sounding like that typical. I don't know. It's just a talk. Somebody doing a talk at a meeting. It's the only. I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe a business seminar or something would probably be a similar thing, where you have to just sit there and listen to people for fucking hours on end, and it's that droning microphone. You know, they haven't set it up like it's for a fucking concert. You know, for a rock band where all the audio's got to be great. It's just simple shit, and you always get that real similar sound with everyone that talks, like, because they're not necessarily, like, I'm not talking about those real enthusiastic ones, although they're pretty bad too, but the drony ones, you know, fucking hell, they'll put you to sleep.
The only real way is to go nuts with it like some of those evangelists do, but I was never going to go there.
Yeah.
It seems I had a bit of a weird upbringing compared to most other witnesses, probably because I was from a religiously divided family, one in and one not even touching a religion. This meant that I had a bit of a taste of both sides, and the opportunity to freely access things I otherwise probably wouldn't have. There was a time I was just as stubborn as the next fundy, but I did leave the religion, and any organised religion for that matter, probably not long after I began doing my talks. Very early on, after wanting to leave,
Mama.
I was threatened by an elder with the possibility of becoming like my evil older brother who had left the faith not long before. So I left, and I spent the next few years in school basically being the rebellious nerd. I would get into all sorts of trouble with the...
Wow. I didn't even really explain how I left. They God, was it before a meeting or? I can't remember if it was before or after a meeting, but I remember sitting in the back pew, and okay, so technically, it wasn't one of the seats because we didn't have all like lines of pews as you'd think typically a church kind of pew, but it was just an auditorium, it was just a normal hall with rows of seats that can be like, you know, stackable seats sort of shit, so you can clean up real easy. And we just happened to have a big long pew at the sort of entry area of our hall, and our hall was really little, you know, teeny. So even when you're back there, you know, you're in view of everyone. It's very public still, and it's right at the entrance. There's no other way to come in and out. Oh, that was a moment. because I remember Mum was there and this particular elder who we'd known for a while, and he was worried about my direction, but I was sort of at that point still wanting to become baptized. Like I was actually still interested in everything. For some reason he was worried I wasn't, interested enough. Like I wasn't in enough of a hurry to get baptized. And yeah, he used the idea of like my older brother being a bad example. And that immediately sort of turned me a bit sour. And yeah, thankfully so, I suppose. But it's a shame because I don't know. I did have a lot of good memories of the guy. Like, he was a good dude. He's, I think, still alive. But that was just a bad move, especially as a kid. Telling a kid that, and I looked up to my older brother, as a lot of younger brothers do. So yeah, probably not the best idea.
School or the law, but I was always just given a slap on the wrist because I was such a smart kid and I'm normally so good from a nice Christian family. I certainly know white privilege. It even culminated in a very long road trip across the countryside, just 2 kids, a mate and I running around towns, committing crimes, and then ditching for another town, hitchhiking along the way.
That would be a story in itself, by the way.
Did get caught eventually, of course, and for some reason I remember using the religion as an excuse. I don't know why I felt that way.
Have a good one,
I really did feel that way.
Thanks for joining.
It seemed to pass the mustard for the cops and probably made my fading easier. I wasn't even in high school by then. Since then, I had never followed a religion. No man would lead me, but I still held a strong belief in Jehovah and the Bible in general.
I mean, looking back, am I wrong in thinking I was a bit stupid for doing that? Because I did that for like a decade. I was not like, I threw away all organized religion, but still believed in all of what I'd been taught, basically, for probably, if not 10 years plus. I don't know. I shouldn't feel bad for that, should I?
I just didn't believe that man had it worked out or ever would. It wasn't until just this last month that I hit the real turning point, probably more than a decade after actually leaving the religion. From that point onward, I explained for the most part in another video. So what are the consequences? First off, my disability. I shouldn't go into it much yet, but it's in part thanks to the no blood bullshit. Then there's the sheltering. I couldn't even watch Jumanji as a kid.
I ever go into that? I still don't want to like go into the details of what's actually wrong with me because I could be identifiable, but yeah, no, that's probably why I probably haven't. Yeah, no, I won't go into that.
Because it was all about demonic forces. Luckily, as I have mentioned, I could get into the histories and the sciences,
oh, thanks, Bull.
Just not the fantasy. I was a very socially awkward kid because
I still am not into fantasy stuff,
and
for the
that
most part.
made my mum a little more lenient towards me, befriending kids.
Limited
from
amount of fantasy with strictly
in our small town.
grounded
there
in
was
reality.
only like 1 or 2 kids in my age in the church, so it didn't give me much choice.
Yeah.
We went through some strict shit as kids to go to meetings and do right, but strangely enough, the violence mostly didn't come from our religious mother. I think it was more something that came with the times and the rough conservative side. Not something I made.
Not many people realize that my dad is an atheist. I know I mentioned my family, this, that, and the other. But that's because me excluded, when I look at my family, the majority are J-dubs. Yeah, sorry, Mama. I'll try and pause it more when I'm talking. But yeah, no, my dad is. And he's almost the stereotype bad atheist. Like, all the things that a Christian would say about an atheist, except for, like, any of the devil worshipping kind of bullshit. But, like, Yeah. I mean, yeah, he has his good points too, but he's not a great role model as an atheist necessarily. But he was good in the sense that he allowed a middle ground, if you know, somewhere there anyway, like a bit of a middle ground for us to bounce off if we really didn't want to go to the meeting or something like that. Like, but my goodness, that took a lot of arguing before we got there. Because before then, he was like on Mum's side, go, she wants you to go, you know, you got to get ready, do your church thing. Yeah, no, I suppose. No, he's like, I don't know, I might have to do a video on him actually. That'd be a tricky one. I'll definitely do a video on him at some point, because that's something I haven't really touched on. This is kind of why I wanted to do this particular video I'm doing now, going through these, because I wanted to watch them with you guys and get ideas of what I haven't yet done videos on, or what I haven't talked about much, and, you know, what you guys are yet to actually find out about me and my story in general. Like, how maybe I'll think of something new that, like, I haven't remembered yet, which has happened a lot through this whole, you know, progression of being NotJah. So we'll get back into it, see where we're at.
Imagine would pass now, even in the church, or I'd hope not, at least. I have trouble still putting a lot of these memories together, as I have honestly worked hard to successfully repress them over the years.
Touche.
I have a lot of thoughts and memories that are good, but they are surrounded by so much that wasn't. So, hopefully in time doing this, I'll be able to bring up more things and recall more. I will continue, but for now, I think I'll adjourn. A quick side note, good news, I have a rough audio recording of the special memorial talk for this year that all the witnesses have to watch. Hopefully.
Alright. The memorial talk would be interesting, but witnessing time. Yeah, we'll see what it's about. Let's do it. This should probably be the last one, though. I think we're going for close enough to an hour and a half.
G'day again, NotJah Witness, just with some thoughts that I'm going through as I contemplate things
in
a new light. New light.
This is somber as fuck, I can hear it by the sound of the music.
Time means more now. For those unfamiliar, the witnesses believe that they
feel like this is going to be a sad one to end on.
God in this life to be resurrected or survive into the paradise earth at Armageddon. So they justify their time spent serving the Watchtower organization as not only a worthy cause, but a life-saving one for themselves and any who that they might encourage into the faith. This life doesn't matter, as they wager it on the unwavering belief that they will have another opportunity, and that second life is potentially endless. So a faithful brother or sister will forego most of all life's pleasures and even some necessities just to satisfy the will of the organization. This is how you have committed JW families turning.
You're dead on, man. Bull, that's right on. Wasting life on not living. The problem is, that's a really hard habit to get out of. Like, you know, if that's what's so ingrained, that's all you've done, it's really, really hard to get yourself out of that. Not only the old habit sort of thing, but you've already buried you've already dug yourself a hole. And you're way, way, way down there. The longer you've been that person, the deeper that hole is. You know, the longer you're in the mindset of careers don't matter, through your childhood into, you know, it's like that's a lot of not living, and it's really hard to make up for that in any way. God damn it, this one's really sad. Why'd we do this one?
Away discommunicated family members and friends
against friends. So, accepting the limited time one has is difficult, but it means, for the most part, I appreciate things around me a lot more, like the time I spend with family and friends. The difference between an expectation of another life, another chance and endless time to have with family and friends, to the finite reality where I deeply appreciate the time I have with each person, not just more, but in a new way. I feel like I want to be more engaged with people again, where for many years I've sort of secluded myself.
That is a good point, Mama Atheist. Yeah, no. I'll take that.
In a little tiny hole and just lived a quiet life. But that was never really who I was or wanted to be. The downside to this, of course, is now watching my little brother and my sweet mother wasting their lives away for this lie. And my father says, well, it makes them happy, but it only makes them happy because they fully believe that lie. I absolutely love him, but Dad is of little help in this regard. This limit on our life, or more directly the lack of another life in perfection, is still quite a hand to be dealt from my personal perspective. I was born into this wonderful world far less than perfectly. In fact, I had major complications, organ failures, asphyxiated by my umbilical cord the entire time. I realise I should correct myself on something I said in my interview with the Grey Skeptic Matt, just quick. I mentioned that my mother's disfellowshipping after hooking up with my dad was probably the worst time in her life, because being a dub literally means the world to her. But in hindsight, that was incorrect, as she has said to me that the torture she went through, not knowing my future for the first few months of my life, was the worst time in her life. And I really don't blame her. I'm glad I don't remember it. I just have the scars. But anyway, back to it. So I had some...
God damn it, why'd I add a tangent like that? Oh well. Fuck. I mean, I think the main thing I can rip apart in this is that there's nothing happening on the screen. But I even had the foresight of going, I'm not going to do anything and fucking... God damn it. The lighting is still off, but it's the same picture again. Because I did, I'm just I think this is the point where, unless I'm using actual text, I was just using some pictures that I already got. I was so young and new on YouTube.
Some major issues, and these issues invariably caused enough damage to some nerves that I was never capable of using certain muscles in my body. And over almost 30 years, these muscles have depreciated into what the doctors say now are non-existent.
Well, there you go.
In
It's a
short,
pretty
not a whole lot
good
of
explanation. I just don't necessarily identify it.
I'm sure you can guess where I'm going.
Yeah, fuck you,
this,
Mara.
but I was taught from a very early age to believe with all my heart that I would one day have the possibility.
We'll do one more
be
just to
like
do a
anyone
better
else,
one.
To look just like another person. Walk or play sports just like any other person. I don't even care about perfection. I just want to fit in and to disappear into the crowd.
Oh god, the music's a bit loud, isn't it?
Level of ability as anyone else.
I mean, I suppose it works for
every single
what I'm
person
doing.
who suffers any major medical issue.
See you all,
and don't
much
get me
love.
wrong, I look at people
Do my
with
Tony
other
Reid roast.
disabilities
Yeah,
and I
okay.
completely
I'll do
forget
something like
about
that.
my
That'll be
own.
fun.
I just wish
Which one though? Because I
they
did
could do what I can.
two. Do you want the actual
I'm aware
song?
of how
Yeah, as opposed
selfish all
to
this part
yeah, I'll do the
sounds.
song.
But look,
God, that's cringe.
I took
That's
my
cringe.
fair share of bullshit growing up in my small redneck town.
Alright.
Skinny
Yeah, no, I don't want to
nerd.
go through all this. I can't do any more of this sadness. Like, no thank you. So we'll do top 10 reasons to watch Dr. Guyman. Oh, God, comes. Oh. I'm so, I might have to extend this stream a little bit. for one more Guyman. I'm sorry, we're gonna get one more Guyman. The guy cracks me up, what can I say? Where am I still? Atheist roasts. Oh, I'm close. Roasts. Where are the rest of my roasts? There's Demi. Paul. God, I whipped their asses. Strength is first, everyone. Where am I looking? Oh, a little bit higher. Community roast. No, leave his dick alone. Pretty sure that was the one I want. Alright, which one do you want first? I'll do the... I'll make you wait for the, leave his dick alone. Just because I'm cruel like that. I'm gonna put up with
The most severe
first.
case is occurring in Australia, where the R&R impersonator, NotJah Witness...
Oh, my ears are burning.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That wasn't too bad. God.
Back again,
So loud
NotJah
in my
Witness
ears.
here for a quick one, because I just wanted to give out a shout out to my mate, Dr. Guyman, and just tell you a few reasons why I'm a fan of his
Oh,
work.
don't you love it?
Number one, he says fee-fees and hee-hees like a little kid because he thinks he's being insulting.
As he offended their fee-fees. That's next.
Wonder if he actually
back to
comments
the
on
depths
this
of the
one.
mighty hee-hees today. I want to smack that shoulder.
I'm gonna go back, hold up. Silent. Still no go. I'm gonna have to check out if Guyman's still around. Like, I'm getting a bit worried now. Because I could have sworn he's commented on a bunch of my videos and they were there not too long ago. Yep, no, he's still around, okay. Damn. Still doing videos. Wonder Lady. He did a video. Badger, Whirly. Oh my goodness. This guy. I mean, if you ever need something to do, check out Guyman.
Is that a thing? Does anyone have a shoulder fetish? But what about
Fetish?
foot fetishes? We
But it's just cute. Number two is, his name is Tom. He lives in Georgia at home with his parents, who yell at him when he's been stuffing around on the computer for too long and needs to go to bed.
Who's there? What's going on?
Oh god, I love it. He puts his mask back on.
What? Okay.
Oh my god. He's too
It's
good.
the people downstairs.
I got it.
Anyway.
Number three, he's a film student.
Seriously. You can't beat this.
It's the people downstairs.
I'll see if I can pause it.
Number three, he's a...
No, wait. Where am I? Might have... Oh, yeah.
Who's there?
He goes, who's there? And
What's
then
going
takes it
on?
off. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. So close. Almost, but he takes her off right in front of the camera and leaves that in there. And then he's worried about putting it back on. Like, dude.
What?
I fuck.
Okay.
Oh.
It's the people downstairs. Anyway.
Number three, he's a film student who has aspirations for his own film production. I know a lot of these things are kind of taking the mickey out of him, but this one isn't. You can't deny he has some talent when it comes to his editing, and even his scripting can be quite entertaining. No matter what my thoughts are on his desired theme of film is, I still wholeheartedly support his endeavours as an aspiring filmmaker, like myself.
My music is still a bit loud.
Along these creative lines, he's also learning to play the saxophone, which I believe
only
to be
just
one of the
starting
sexiest
the
instruments
experiment.
there is, and he spends a lot of time doing his best to teach
Oh
others
my
how
God,
to
he
play
does.
as he learns. under the pseudonyms Darth Tanner or Adam Alto. Legit. I don't know if he's still doing it. I'm sure he still does it. I hope he still does it. But, bless him, he's not that great. I'm sure I'll put a little sample in here, but, I'm quite a fan of the saxophone, and it's hard to do it that badly that it puts me off. But yeah, some people.
You will need octave 1, 2.
His teaching skills itself he's quite proficient.
Need octave.
I didn't. Oh, here we go. Yes, he still has some way to go, but he's... So, like, look, he can hit the notes. It's his timing. And, I don't know, there's a bit of lack of conviction in his breath, mate. Like, he's not as powerful in his breath. I don't know how, like, I don't play the saxophone. Played clarinet once. But, yeah. Nah. I mean, keep working at it, buddy. Keep working at it. Oh, where's my mouse? Fucking. He's being proactive about it. And he's also trying to help others in the process. These are very commendable things.
They are.
Number 4, he reminds me a lot of myself. When I was a young religious type.
What?
Even after I left the Witnesses organisation itself,
Okay, wasn't. No.
I really held on to a lot of crazy Christian beliefs for far too long. And I defended them a lot like Dr. Guyman does.
Yeah, but nah. I mean, I think I'm being generous there a little bit. Not quite like Dr. Guyman does, but in a sense that I defended my crazy beliefs, yes.
Just not on camera, thank fuck. Number 5, he isn't actively trying to find information on the internet, even if it is just to attempt to tear it down. You'd be surprised how much will be slowly getting through to him, and Rome wasn't built in a day. Number 6,
That's
he has
very
a
optimistic
sense of humour. I'll grant you that this one is a bit very subjective, but hey, maybe it's just because I'm an Australian, but I find him hilarious, especially when he's trying to tear me and XC apart. It's just gold in my opinion. Number 7, he is...
But I won't lie, that I do agree. Like, I mean... I don't know. You got to be in the mood for it. It is kind of that, you know, I'm gonna be watching some cringe stuff. But when you find one of the coherent ones, or at least some parts, the bits that are coherent, they can be pretty good. You know, he's pretty inventive with what he's got too, because as far as I know, he doesn't have a huge amount of resources, or at least at this time, to have been at his disposal to work with. So, like, you know, good on him.
He's very easily confused and so easily triggered like the snowflake that he is. Number 8, he likes to have words of the day, like incredulity and strawman, and then project them onto whoever he's rebuking.
Strawman, incredulity.
Number 9, his name, and how he mispronounces it so often.
This is Dr. Guyman. Alright! This is Dr. Guyman, and I'm defending Trump again. Oh, come on!
Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus, man. This guy is unbelievable. You know, he's quite a intriguing character.
But more than that, his name and that he made it as a young boy. A little white boy wants to feel like a...
Look, I'm sorry I'm interrupting myself, but I don't know if I might even mention this soon, but
that mask, the mustache is always coming off. And he changes mustaches every now and then. I just can't.
Big man on the interweb, so what does he name himself? Mr. Mr. Man? Nah, Mr. Sir?
Alright,
nah,
I'm gonna
shit.
run over and grab myself
Mr.
a beer
Guy.
while this plays.
Yeah, it'll go in the maybe pile. Mr. Sucks. What's more a grown-up? Professor? Like Professor Stick? Nah, I can't pass as a professor. Doctors are smart. Yeah, Dr. Man. Wait. No, that doesn't sound real.
I really could believe this might be his thought
Dr.
process.
Guyman. Yeah. That way I can make slanders against the LGBTQ community anytime I want by mispronouncing my name as Gayman. Oh, I am so smart.
I am curious to know, I don't know if you read the bit that's up there just a moment ago, spite or in spite of being openly bi, as he says. I don't know how legit those claims are, because, you know, he doesn't exactly hold a huge amount of credibility. However, I feel the need, you know, I should believe that, so, yeah.
About as smart as some former Jehovah's Witness naming himself NotJah Witness. Fucking creative, that ain't it? Number 10. He has a kind heart. He might say a lot of things that are off-putting, but he doesn't.
I just thought of something I wouldn't have said in this. In his defense as well, he was into wearing masks before it was cool. So we got to give him credit for that.
Doesn't actually mean any harm or offense, believe it or not. He just doesn't mind if he does, in the name of expressing his thoughts. I'm not in any way bothered by his words. In fact, I encourage the discussion. If we push him out of the conversation, he'll never learn. If he's responding,
why don't I leave the music up for
I like that he pays attention.
Fucking
Sometimes you can even catch him changing his actions to be a better person. This is a big sign that there is hope yet for our boy. So yes, I am a fan of Gordon, and I'll be doing more rebuttals of his videos. I will try and keep them entertaining and
Fuck yeah, I
educational
will.
so that they aren't too much of a headache.
Oh god, okay. No more shitting on Guyman by the looks of it. Oh, let's have a quick squeezy. Yeah, I'll get back into. Alright, and we'll finish off now quickly on Leave His Dick Alone by me, they. Oh goodness, a friend of mine named Jimmy, who's not within our community, and then the assistance of a bunch of other people. This is still ultimate cringe, but it's still pretty funny. And if you're not subscribed to Tony Reed, go subscribe to Tony Reed. And say hello to him for me. Say I sent you. Oh, that's a better intro, isn't it? Bum 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 boom bum 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 boom bum 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 bum. Come on, you got to do it with me, everybody. Flaming bag of shit. Flaming bag of flaming bag of flaming bag of shit.
Tony Reed. Look, Dave.
How am I gonna diss this? This was hilarious.
To me, you're a disappointment. The internet thinks you're fucking clairvoyant, but it's harrowing to know.
The border thing I was doing was pretty
An
ugly.
embarrassing example of Earth's inhabitants. So sure, it's very true they all admire you, but you're just Anthony neath my Nike shoe. Just to ensure you won't hit me back for more, I'm a straight shank skull. Fuck you to my fucking balls.
Ah.
Now listen up, cunt.
Oh, that was the censored version. Okay.
Yeah, you will.
You flaming bag of shit, Tony.
So
Don't Tony, I'm a put your life in focus. A comedy clown straight out of Compton Circus. Wrestled little boys in his fucking teeny tidies. And double Bowie Ziggy way back in the 90s. Tried to be like John Lennon. Fucking really? You try hard, wanna be nearly became a failed comedian like every hillbilly that hit a stage for chicks getting all touchy-feely. You're as fucking old as American Pie. The plane's masterpiece, not a dicky for your guy. You gotta go for it, fix your fucking videos. Fucking shout it out just like your fucking intro.
Oh my
Keep pushing
God.
this and they can cripple your nonsense. Call your silly channel as had happened to non-sex. Always geeking
That-
out and just dreaming
okay.
of blood sex. But at least sex is something one of the geeks gets.
I'm not too sure which line you're referring to there, Mama, but I like the line where it's like, something about the end of non-sex, basically. And this is before it actually ended, before all the shit happened between, Kyle and Steve and shit. So, yeah, hey, I'm prophetic, motherfuckers.
You flaming bag of shit, Tony.
Hey!
White supremacy didn't go by me, not to mention your obvious hypocrisy. Build this grand aura of untouchability to slander smarter people that simply don't agree. You beat
Should point out, the only one joke in all of these lines that Tony himself questioned, he's like, what gave you the idea of this, was the white supremacy line. And I was like, oh, well, basically just because we're white, and it's easy to be like, well, if you're white, you're a white supremacist. You may as well be. I think that was pretty much, like, it wasn't really, because as far as I know, yeah, that's completely, that's not part of his past and era anyway, that I'm aware of. But yeah, I throw some shit around sometimes.
a lot of pussy, so I'll grant you that. Like the creationist cats that torture you, math, you show me all about your polished trees within your orbit hole. See the birds and bees, so Tony, read you think you're hot shit, but bet you ran a lap. Have a fucking
Oh yeah, probably that too, actually.
We'll sit and at you just like fucking comic book guy. Don't fucking try to reply and deny it was your bigoted video screaming BUY. You cover it up, but oh, it's what I've heard. When really to you're nothing but a cunt face turd.
I think this was the finale as well, because they originally wanted Paul against him, and then I ended up beating Paul, and they were
Call your
like,
silly
fuck.
channel as it happened to non-sex. Always kicking out and dreaming of butt sex, but at least sex is something one of the geeks gets. Yeah, they do.
And in fairness, that geeks line is like literally, I don't know, I think it was because Bran would always say hello to me or something. At one point, I was just like, hey, you're not saying hello to me, so I was just being a dick. But, yeah, that's how the jokes are made sometimes. Really simple shit.
Goliath with powers against his David and seen already that he had made it. Searching for the light like an attention whore. Tried to take a David, now this once more. Revolution needs broken bones. Drive go down with just a few stones. Seedy, Tony, greedy, cunt, here I stand alone. Tearing you straight down from your undeserved throne. I'm so sorry, honey, I might have to leave it here. Finish on your face with one last smear. We all have right to proclivities of our own. So I'm not judging you, Tina, you should know. Broken wedding vows equate a broken home. Dan's married, mate, leave his dick alone.
Well, there it was.
I don't wanna do this either.
That is a good song. Well, I think that's the way to end it, on a good note like that. And, oh, you know what I might do? I'll get tricky on your ass. And, I'll go back to, hey, me, look, it's me. It's me, Mario. Oh, wait, I'm not Mario. And I'll get a fucking copyright strike for that. But, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope it was kind of fun. Went through a bunch of my old videos, and to be honest, they weren't as cringy. Like, I think that My Book of Bible Stories set, they are the most cringy ones I did. But even they're not that bad. They're just, I didn't really cover as much as I should have. I think I should have focused a bit more on covering more of the stories themselves, like what we actually learned through the stories. But it's also pretty hard when
I'm trying to recount having learnt these stories literally from this book as a kid, and I at that point especially didn't have a lot of knowledge about the more in-depth stuff that, you know, even now I'm still pretty oblivious to a lot of the more intricate details of, you know, it's not so much like literally what the Bible says, but what the understood interpretation is, because of how much shit we've been fed and little things that are changed in our interpretation that just can change everything. So, but anyway, that was fun. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you've had fun. What do you want to see? A bit of Mero's bum or Jen with one N and her awesome ad she did for me? I don't know. I'm going to go with Mero this one time, just because she's here. Sorry, Jen. Love you too, but everyone likes Mero's bum too. Jeez. Have fun, everyone. Have a good, I don't know, it might be a little while before I see you, actually. I do want to try and get a flashback out this week. I know I missed last week, but not sure how that'll go. I'll see what I can do. I think, if I'm correct, it'll be... I think it'll be Grumpy Old Dude, but I'll get back to you on that. Anyway, keep an eye out. I'm always random. Have fun. Stay safe. You know, blow somebody. I don't know. Do something enjoyable. I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Have you ever imagined sleeping with your own upside-down nacho? Do you wish you could grab a long-haired Australian and drink alcohol from their body? Maybe you're more interested in sitting on your imaginary underworld apostate's face, or just stomp me to the curb for writing such horrendous lines. Nachos go great with beer. Now you can and more with these fantastic overpriced items from the great range on sale in Nacho's Underworld Market. Your nachos are always best with beer. Pick up your very own upside-down pillow, throw an apostate on your stretch pants, or slap on some yowie socks and just walk all over me. Your nachos always go best with beer. So grab Australian mug, wrap your lips around it, and suck dry those glorious liquids. Everything in stock is limited because I get bored and change it up all the time, so get yours now. As always, ensure to thoroughly beer your nacho. Go to teesprings.com/store/Nachos Underworld Market to grab your very own nacho now.
I believe in Jah, I believe in Jah. Come on everybody, cry NotJah.